Welcome friends, welcome to this new series. Today we will discuss on environment and its component. Let us begin. So friends, whenever you heard this word environment or you think about the term environment, so the first thing which comes to your mind is that environment is anything which is present in our surrounding or which is present in our vicinity. So whenever you talk about environment, so all the things which are present around us, they make the part of environment. Now that could be a park, or it may be any a grassland, or maybe any living component like insect, animal, human beings, or it could be any non-living thing also. So all these things together make our surrounding, or we can say they make our environment. So whenever you talk about the environment, then the number of example could be there. So any park near about you where you are living is a very small area and it is environment for you. So it could be a small area, it could be somewhat large like your city. So your city could also be your environment or your surrounding. It could be a somewhat bigger area like your country, or maybe you can call your world or your whole earth as a your environment also. So environment, anything you can say, it just it could be smaller one, it could be larger one also. So whenever you talk about the environment, so there should be a specific definition of it also. So the term environment has been originated from French word that is environner, and that means our surrounding. So if a specific definition is asked, so you can say that environment is actually the interaction between the living thing and non-living thing, or you can say it is interaction between the living component like plant, animal with the non-living component like soil, water, air, temperature, etc. So whenever you say the interaction between the different component of environment, that could be somewhat like this, that the green plants or maybe humans as well as the non-living component of environment, they are in mutual relationship with each other. Mutual relationship means they generally take something from each other and in turn they give something to the another component. So we can have one example of that. So if you talk about humans, humans take oxygen from air and in turn they provide carbon dioxide. And this carbon dioxide is taken by the plant and in turn they do what? They provide oxygen to the environment which is taken by the human. So this small structure here shows that how animal and plant are related to each other. Similarly, if you talk about plants, they take nutrient from the soil and when they die, along with humans can also you can say they give back the nutrient to the soil. So again you can say there is a mutual relationship between the different component of environment, whether they are humans, whether they are plant, as well as they are non-living component of the environment. Now here we will discuss that what type could be the type of various environment. So specifically we can say that environment are of two type. The first one is natural environment, while the second one is man-made environment, or generally it is also known as anthropogenic environment. So example of natural environment could be four. The first one is lithosphere, that is land, you can see here in the picture, while the second one is hydrosphere, that is the area which is covered with water. It could be a sea, it could be pond, it could be lake, it could be river. Then is atmosphere, that is air which is surrounding us, as well as the next one is biosphere, that is all the living component present on the earth, that or maybe inside the water also, that all will be the part of biosphere, that is living being. Similarly, the another type of environment is anthropogenic environment. Anthropogenic means the non-living component, you can say, or the non-living uh, part of the environment which has been created by human. So if you talk about the example of that, that is aquarium, zoo, these are some of the example of anthropogenic environment. But one thing to remember out here is that is that in the anthropogenic environment, the basic component, or you can say the component will be all natural, but they will be governed by human. So you can take the example of this aquarium, that you can see that the fishes, the plants, they all are natural, but they are governed by the human, or you can say which type of fishes will be there, which type of plant will be there, at which time you are feeding the fishes, that all will be governed by the human, or that will be controlled by the human. That's why we call it as the man-made or anthropogenic type of environment. Now let us discuss that what are the different factor of environment. So different factor of environment could be of three types. The first one is physical environment, second one is chemical environment, and third one is biological environment. So we will discuss them one by one along with their example. So the first one is physical environment. Physical environment, that component of the environment, that factor of the environment which can be measured in certain terms, you can say. The examples are like rain. You can easily measure rain in millimeter. If you talk about humidity, you can measure it, as well as you can measure the temperature in degree centigrade. Similarly, you can measure pressure also in millimeter Hg or maybe in Pascal. So these are the physical factors of the environment which can be easily measured by the you can see various components. Similarly, then there are certain chemical environment, or you can say the chemical factor of the environment. That means those chemical which are present in the environment. So these could be acid, these could be base, these could be any organic or inorganic or salt component, water. These are the various example of chemical environment. Similarly, if you talk about the biological environment means, or biological factor means those which are the living component present in the environment. So it could be any human, it could be animal, it could be plant, flora, fauna, you can say, or it could be very non visible component like microbe also, that is virus or maybe bacteria, fungi, etc. So now we will discuss the another type by which you can see the classify the environment or the component of environment, that is abiotic and biotic component of the environment. So abiotic component, as the name suggests, means A means not and biotic means living. So those component of environment or those things present in the environment which are not living but they are helpful in the survival of biotic or living component are known as abiotic component. These could be many like soil, water, humidity, light, temperature, air. These all are the component. These are not living, but they help in the living, or you can say survival of the biotic component present on the earth. Similarly, another component of the environment or another factors of the environment is biotic component. So biotic components are those which are living, and they live with the help of abiotic factor which are present in the environment. Without abiotic factor, you can't think that the biotic component or the living thing can be survived over the earth. Now the biotic components or living thing can be broadly divided into two, that is autotroph and heterotroph. Auto means themselves and troph means you can say preparing. So any species that prepare its own food is known as autotroph. Generally, they are of two type again, the photoautotroph and chemoautotroph. Photoautotroph means those which prepare their food with the help of light, like you can say green plant. Green plant does what? They take sunlight, mineral, water, etc. from the natural environment, and they prepare own food and store it in themselves. And for that they require some component like carbon dioxide as well as chlorophyll in themselves. So green plant are also known as phototrophs. Similarly, there are many species which cannot prepare the food with the help of light, maybe due to the fact that they can't receive that amount of sunlight, maybe the species which are living deep inside the earth. So these type of species, they do what? They uh, collect some chemical from their nearby, and they prepare their food with the help of those chemicals. That's why they are known as chemoautotrophs. Now, the food which has been prepared by phototroph or chemoautotrophs, generally many species are there which consume that food, or you can say which consume the phototrophs and chemoautotrophs, and those species which eats or which consume these autotrophs are known as heterotrophs. So heterotrophs are those species which depends upon autotrophs. So there are could be many type of species. So some example are shown here: archaea, bacteria, fungi, plant, processed, protist, and animals, humans. These are the various factors, various component of environment which are biotic in nature. So this was all about our this new series in which we have discussed about environment and its components. So in coming series we will be bringing you more videos which will be helping you to understand environment and its various you can say components. So please like this video and subscribe our video. Thank you.